if book was written maybe before whoever wrote that Men Are From Mars and Women Are From Venus book, maybe he would have written it differently because the evolution of desire is really an in-depth study. Daniel M. or sorry, David M. Buzz. He's a psychologist, or I forgot exactly. He's a professor in Texas now. Um, I can't see, what I mean. I know he's a professor in, I think, the Department of Psychology, and maybe I'm not sure what else he is. But anyway, what he does is an in-depth study, step-by-step study onto what the differences between the desire or the sexual instincts that guide men and women, how men are guided versus how women are guided. And he goes into in depth. It's all evolution. Now, he doesn't only do human, right? The main thing about this book is not just humans. He goes and studies even animals, insects, so on, to understand base level why male, what male mating patterns are and what female mating patterns are and how they do it, depending on the uh, uh, essentially the evolution of their game, right? So anyway, I came up on this book mainly because I I was listening to a Chris Williamson podcast, and then I forgot who he was talking to. They were talking about relationships, and then Chris mentioned this book, or his name, David M. Buss's name, saying how amazing this book was, kind of explaining the whole how women are, evolved to be attracted to certain kind of men, and how men are attracted to certain kind of women. Which kind of, if you heard my review on the value of others, or Dr. Orion Taraban also kind of discussed a similar thing, but I think Orion got most of the stuff also due to their long research David Mbus stuff did. So, but the main theme of the book is women are mostly attracted to providers, protectors, someone who are going to be there for the long term, especially in terms of children, when they have children. That's the evolution. Doesn't matter modern days if a woman never wants a child or not, it's still that's where they get attracted to, even if they don't verbalize it. But that's one of the things. The problems with most, well, not even including me or anybody, automatically we have this evolutionary instincts that attract us to certain type of category of, age, whatever features of women, and then men, and then women can attract to certain features. Now, within each individual person, there might be different variations. That's not the point. The point is, bottom line, what are the main characteristics, principles the men or the woman look for in their partners? So on women, they're looking for obviously providers, protectors, long term. They're going to be there, not a hit and run guy. If they're looking for a relationship, obviously. The short term, which now is the evolution, right? A long time ago, there wasn't a big, case for that. Most of the time, it was always about procreation or long term effect anyway, because women couldn't afford to have short term. If they got pregnant, then the guy is just going to run, then their chance of finding a mate, long-term mate, was harder when they had children. Well, versus now, it's not a big deal anymore, right? Same now with men. The other part of the equation is they always wanted, when they look for long term, they wanted to make sure the women was going to be their child, not somebody else's child. So many of the evolutionary things described in this book and other books is marriage as a concept was mostly created for men in the sense they wanted to protect their women or their childbearing element because they wanted to protect against somebody else, essentially mating and having the child with their women. So that that's one of the evolutionary theories, right? And he goes into animals and how some of the animals kind of completely block off other males from getting to the woman there, or the female. It's the it or it whatever is essentially having sex with, or trying to get their children with, or whatever the case is. Because most of the animal kingdom is mostly procreation, right? Instead of recreation, versus where human beings are evolved to more recreation than procreation there, because it's more, evolved. But the bottom line still is what men get attracted to, going back to this, is men get attracted to the age group of 18 to 25, which kind of Orion Turban kind of shared in his Value of Others book. But that's, again, came from here. The reason being that is the max, the best age women can have the most success in having kids. The older they get, the lesser the chances. So men automatically are attracted to, whether they are, whatever the age they are in, automatically get attracted to that age range. Then men inherently always look for multiple partners, or that's what it is, because they're not looking to, in the sense that thinking about it maybe, but inherently that's the evolution. They're wanting to have more kids or spread their seed, so to say. And that's the big thing people need to understand. When people talk about men and women, right? Men kind of blame women about, oh, gold diggers. No, women are not really gold diggers. They're looking for providers, protectors who can actually take care of them and the family, the kids and all that stuff. Being, keep them in comfort and protect them against adversaries, or, in passage without being from harm from other men, or, being killed, so on and so forth, right? Now, most of the world doesn't have that. Maybe still in some, backward countries or regions, there might be that Aboriginal, forest people, so on, that still exist. In fact, that's what it goes into. How those tribes behave even now, according to old tradition. Some have polygamous, because the guys, whoever is the most resourceful, has the most resources. You have the polygamous relation, and few men are not the best resourceful. They're left without any mates. So he kind of goes into where polygamous, kind of spreads is in those type of environments where or there are more women than men many times. Then, the other side, where women can be polygamous, in the sense that if there are a lot more men than women, then it can, that will happen too. It gives those examples. Anyway, the bottom line is there's so much in this book, must read, to understand many times, whether you're married or relationship or single, whatever the case is, it's highly, highly important to understand how men and women behave. And even, I think even he goes into a little bit into the same-sex relationship. Even then, the behavior is similar. Men behave a certain way, even if they're gay, and women behave a certain way, even if they're lesbian, right? So anyway, he goes a little bit into that, not too much, but it's mainly about his heterosexual, or the evolution of human beings. So human beings, how they evolved is obviously, propagating humankind, which is basically by having sexual sex for procreating, right? That's how they did it. So that's evident. That's the main length he goes into, and also goes into the factors that can have a long-term relationship, and also factors into aggression in sexual relationships, so on and so forth. There's so much to it. I'm already, got the audible version to listen to it probably a couple more times because there's so much goal or information, understanding that one needs to get to stop this whole thing where, or at least understand this whole notion about men and women that everybody has. Women have this notion of men are seeking only sex. That's kind of true. It is true, right? That's a reality. And then men go, oh, women are just seeking money, whatever, gold digger. No, that's true. Kind of true. Not in that sense that they're looking for gold, but they're looking for that long-term protection provider, which is the nature, whether they actually think about that or not. That's kind of inbuilt for men or women. And their inbuilt nature is that. And that's why for men, sex is not that like a big deal. Women, it is. Actually, even women, it's not. According to, his studies, women care more about men being emotionally involved with another woman, not sex. They will forgive sex, having sex with another woman, but they won't forget man being in love or caring about another woman. That means the resources are going to somebody else. And that's a critical difference because I've learned now with some friends I kind of talked to it, I've understood that now with some women I met and talked to, how they are very forgiving about a relationship or extramarital affair or sex, because that other woman didn't matter to the guy or their husband, partner, whatever. Versus men, for them, women having sex with another guy means you're out, you're done. Because that means potential that the women might have a child. Not that they're thinking that, but that's evolution. So, like I said, I can go on and on. Great book to read to understand all those perspectives and why men and women think differently in terms of relationships, sex, so on and so forth. It doesn't matter whether you're single relationship. It's important to understand your partner if you're in a relationship, how they behave, and what is the inherent thinking process or evolution, which might be automatic, while they might not, most likely they won't be able to express what it is. It's just how it is. So understanding reality is very important, not how we want it to be, right? So anyway, hope that helps.